Hello and welcome to Courage to Overcome. On this podcast, I will be talking about emotionally destructive relationships from a Christian biblical perspective with a bit of psychology. My focus will be more on romantic or marital relationships. My aim is to share what I've learned to help support and empower other people, especially women going through issues in their relationships. So if you're interested in hearing more, please subscribe, follow, click on the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload a new podcast. Today I want to talk about the never-ending dysfunctional cycle of abuse of the narcissist. Have you ever been on a merry-go-round? I used to go on it a lot when I was a kid at the fairground. I was probably the first thing I wanted to go on when I went there with my parents. I would just be, so excited about going up on it. It just goes round and round and round continuously. It doesn't stop. It doesn't alter its course. It just does the same thing continuously. Sometimes you feel like you're on a merry-go-round in your relationship with a covert narcissist. The reason being, you feel like you are continuously going round and round with a cycle of events occurring again and again. It certainly was my experience and the experience of many people, I'm sure, who are or have been in a relationship with a narcissist. In my first podcast, I talked about the push and pull dynamic in my relationship with my ex-husband. It was something that happened over and over again. We would have a period of time where we would have a great relationship. There would be peace. He would be attentive, take me out shopping, take me out for dinner. This is normally described as the love bombing stage. And then it will be like he was, after that, then after a period of time, then it will be like he was bored and needed some conflict or drama or chaos. They are masters of chaos and conflict. And then he would kind of instigate some kind of trouble or conflict and start to demean me or devalue me in some way. This is normally the devaluation stage, and I'd be unhappy and I would emotionally withdraw from my fellowship with him or from my intimacy with him and everything. And then after a period of time, he would want to talk to me or have, in quotes, a meeting with me. My ex-husband loves having meetings, or I want to have a meeting with you. So we would have a meeting, and then we would thrash it out. I would consider this kind of the Hoover stage, because I think that would be the stage where he would try to kind of like get me back again, because I had withdrawn from him. So he would try to get me back again. So we would have this meeting and we would talk, and we would, I would tell him what I wasn't happy about, and he would go on, and he would just go on and on and on and on and go touch on different topics and go from here to there and everywhere. And it would take hours with no apology or accountability from him. And then he would say, okay, let's leave it all behind us, and then start again without really resolving anything. And then everything would be peaceful again until the next cycle where it would start over and over again. So you get where I'm saying about the merry-go-round. It's something that just would continue to go over and over again. So what am I talking about? The never-ending cycle of the narcissist. Well, what I'm saying is that it's basically the behavioral patterns that occur again and again in the relationships of the narcissist. There is the cycle that occurs within an existing relationship, and then the cycle that occurs during the lifetime of relationships of the narcissist. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, and I hope you understand what I mean. So the time limit for each stage of the cycle may vary, but it's the same with all narcissists. They are very predictable in that sense. So now I'm going to talk about the cycle that he has in not within a relationship, which I had just mentioned previously, but in the lifetime of the relationships of the narcissist. So the cycle starts off with the first stage of the cycle, which is love bombing. Love bombing is when the narcissist showers his targets with lots of attention, affection, gifts, constant communication, wanting to know where you are, what you're doing, who you're with. Quite overwhelming most of the time. It might come across as being very eager, very interested, very loving to the target, as they feel flattered that they are the center of attention. This is when a narcissist, probably is wanting to get into a relationship with someone new at the time. So even the narcissist may feel like the target is the perfect person, is the right one this time, and he may feel like he's in love. Also, this is where they learn everything about you, your strengths and weaknesses, so that they can mirror you and also use it against you later on. The next stage is devaluation. At this stage, the narcissist seems to know everything about you, most especially your weaknesses. Is stored in his memory, in his database of his memory. And then he becomes bored. There is no excitement or anything anymore with the chase. The relationship has become predictable. The things he liked about you before begin to irritate him. Actually, you're not actually the perfect person he thought you were. He's no longer infatuated. And so, narcissists create chaos and conflict because they cannot thrive in a healthy, peaceful relationship. So he starts to devalue you, starts to gaslight you, triangulate, and all the other narcissistic tactics that I've mentioned in my previous episodes. The narcissist starts to discredit you and shame you. You are no longer on a pedestal. You are now the scapegoat. He will do everything in his power to make you feel worthless and valueless. He sees you as the person responsible for all his problems and all his faults, and the fact that he's not happy is all your fault. And all of that anger and ire will be poured all onto you. It's like hell coming against you, a campaign of hate against you. He will start a smear campaign in preparation for the final stage. This person is an expert and has been doing this for years in every relationship prior to yours. He will come across to people as being caring, but is passive aggressive. For example, when he starts to, discredit you and demean you, he will start to, for example, he'll say things like, for example, if your name is Patricia, he'll say things like, oh, to someone, one of your friends or whatever, and say like, oh, Patricia's a really great person, so funny and amusing. I'm just concerned about her behavior around the children sometimes. And then when your friend asks them what he means, he will say something like, oh, she appears to be erratic and inconsistent around them, just as if she's drunk, but I'm sure she just must be playing around. Trying to put in the minds of people that, that the person he's talking about is not a good mother and that she's an alcoholic. And so this is the devaluation stage. And then we go on to the final stage, which is the discard. This is when the narcissist decides to end or leave the relationship. He will have prepared the grounds for the discard with the smear campaign, which I mentioned just before, smearing your name and discrediting you to other people, your friends and family, or close friends. So he would have initiated that smear campaign, which is what the narcissist does and says to discredit you and will make you the bad person in the relationship and make him out as the good person. So it will begin to increase as he will need family, acquaintances and friends to believe that his target's behavior is the reason why he had to leave the relationship. It's not his fault, it's her fault. While you are wondering what's happening, why he has left, he has probably moved on to another person who he has been love bombing the same way he love bombed you. There is also another stage of the cycle, which is called hoovering, which is the narcissist's attempt to win you back, probably after some time, probably when he sees you doing well without him, and you've become interested into him again, and he tries to see if he can get back into your good graces and win you back and get you into a relationship with you again, probably using some of the same tactics in the love bombing. So he'll try to use friends and family, for example, to get back with you. And he will just basically do everything that he can to hoover you back into his life. So that is the never-ending dysfunctional cycle of the narcissist. Please follow or subscribe to my podcast if you want to see more of this. And I'll see you in the next episode. Stay blessed. Bye.